Hey everybody, this is Casey Burnett. This is the No Longer Abandoned channel, and I'm at our coffee mill at Bourbon Coffee Exchange, and we're doing a project with our Philippine Foundation, Solid Rock Children Development Foundation, and we're going to start planting coffee. So today, I want to give you a quick video on how to start your coffee nursery. So the first thing we got to do is make sure we have the right seeds. Okay, so what is the difference between a coffee bean and a coffee seed? I'm going to show you. Here is some coffee seeds. So this is coffee seeds. So this still has the parchment on it. So when you run a coffee cherry through a depulper, you have the seed. So if you run the seed through a huller, then it knocks off the seed parchment and you get the coffee bean. So this is the coffee bean. So, but if it's not whole, this is what's a coffee seed. And the outside part is called parchment or seed coating. So if you're going to plant coffee seeds, you cannot plant just the coffee bean. You have to plant the seed. So one of our growers, we ordered our Arabica. We're going to do red bourbon. That's the cultivar we did this year. So we ordered about 18 kilos of seeds. That's way more than we needed. So I wanted to test the first batch. I did about 3,000 seeds. Or no, it's about four. I did about 4 kilos of seeds. There was around 3,000 seeds per kilo. So it's around 12,000 seedlings. And so what we did is we took the seeds, which is the unhulled coffee with parchment on it. That's what you call the seed. So it was dried down, and we soaked that in water overnight. And then after we soaked it in water overnight, the next day we came out here and we had the site prepared. If you can see right here, we had the site prepared, and then we just put the seeds on top. We had one portion where we kind of put the seeds underground, maybe a quarter, not even a quarter inch, just like maybe 1/8 of an inch with soil on top. To me, those seeds didn't do as good as if you just put the seeds directly on top of the ground. The ones that were directly on top, they sprouted faster than the ones that were under the soil. So from that point, it's about 30 days later, within about a 1-month period, the seeds started to start. So the seeds that I planted on the very back, those were on top of the soil. And I've already taken this up right here for our nursery. I'm going to show you, but the ones right here, as you can see, did not do as well because we put soil over them about maybe 1/8 of an inch. So when you start your seeds, you need to be right on top of the soil. So we'll walk through here. All right, so this is our seeds that we got started, and we're going to transplant these this week. We're going to be in the process of transplanting these. So as you can see right here, see if I pull this one up. This one right here is about 2 months old. So this is the first month. This is the second month right here. Actually, you don't really supposed to count the cotyledon. So this is going to be considered a 1-month-old seedling. So this is plenty old enough to go ahead and transplant into our nursery. So if it's got the cotyledon on there, you can go ahead and transplant it. You want to make sure you have no twisted or turned what you call a J root. So if this taproot is turned, that's not going to be a great seedling to transplant. Well, this one right here will be good. Very good. This is a good one to start. All right, one thing you need to think about when you're getting your nursery prepared is the soil media that you're going to use for the seedlings. So for us, we used chicken manure mixed with rice hull. We used our coffee parchment. That was a waste product from our coffee mill. Dried coffee cherry. So we hold that up as the dust and broken pieces of coffee cherry that had been in a pile and had composted for several months. And then we added chicken manure. So those 3 things together, we blended them together, and it's about a 30-30-30, maybe 33-33-33 blend. And we put that into sachets that you see behind me. We water them, and then you're ready to go ahead and put in your seedlings. Okay, so if we want to plant, I just use a stick, open it up, so that ready to go. Ta-da. See how it gets stressed? whoever's viewing this, I want you to see the importance of making sure you water these seedlings every day, especially starting out. These were just transplanted yesterday, and while they were watering, they did not water this section here good. So you see, because these plants are going through stress, these could very easily die. So we need to make sure that we water these today. It's going to take several days for these seedlings to survive after they get transplanted, because it creates stress on the plant. So the first few days are just like little babies. You got to make sure you keep extra care on them, add a lot of water, keep them out of the direct sun. And if you don't do that, they'll die. So once they get established and they start growing, we can count, and we're going to go about 6 months old at least before we transplant these in the ground. Okay, one more thing that we need to talk about before you get started is you need to pick the right cultivar. So there's different types of cultivars of Arabica. The oldest cultivar that was here in the Philippines a long time ago, and the oldest in the world, is Arabica typica. It commands a high value. It is not disease resistant, so it's very likely to get coffee rust. So you have a good flavor, a good aroma, but you have a high risk of losing that plant in with a disease. Also, you have a lower yield compared to newer cultivars. The most popular cultivar is called Cultivar, and that is what a lot of companies in the U.S. prefer to buy. They prefer to buy Cultivar because it's some people think it's better for the environment. It's a cross between Arabica and Robusta, so it is got a good flavor. It's kind of like industry standard now. Good flavor, good aroma, and it's disease resistant. You don't, in my opinion, people don't like it quite as much as like a bourbon. So this is a bourbon cultivar. Bourbon's very popular in Central America, and it's very popular here because it's got a good yield, it's got a good flavor, and it's also relatively disease resistant. So my first time trying it, after interviewing farmers which cultivar they prefer, I decided to go with bourbon because I also like the way that, in my opinion, bourbon tastes. So we're trying Arabica bourbon here, but if you get a chance to plant Typica, you can do that. There's another cultivar called Ethiopian landrace that they plant here, what some people call sweet coffee. That also has, they're smaller beans and they command a good price, but the yield is lower, so your labor cost is going to be higher. That's the reason the price is higher, because your labor cost is higher. So two top choices for me here in Bukidnon would be bourbon or Cultivar, those two. Okay, this year we're going to plant bourbon coffee. That's the cultivar we're going to use. What is bourbon coffee? Does bourbon coffee have any alcohol in it? No. Bourbon is just the name of the cultivar. It is, I think it's based out of Central America, I think, but it's got a good yield. It's very disease resistant. I prefer it better to Cultivar, which is very popular in industrial use. Cultivar is good, but I prefer the flavor and the aroma of bourbon coffee compared to Cultivar. This house right here that we just built, we use local treated bamboo. We use a shade cloth because the seedlings are going to do better in shade. Arabica especially does good in shade. This house right here will hold about 4,000 to 5,000 seedlings. And so once we get this one done today, we're going to keep adding more seedlings out. We have enough for probably around 12,000 seedlings. So if we have around 12,000 seedlings, you have 2,000 seedlings per hectare. That's enough for 6 hectares. All right, here's a couple mistakes that I made this first season. I bought the coffee seeds in February. I bought them late. So what I should have done is bought the seeds in November, because if I bought the seeds in November, then I could have them started, and by the time the planting season, which would be May and June comes around, and the seedlings would be 6 to 7 months old. They'd be ready to plant. So these right here, if we're trying to plant these before the rainy season this year, which starts in June, July, they're not going to be old enough to transplant. They're still going to be too young. So these will be ready to plant by like September. So I will still have seedlings, but they'll be like a year old by the time they're actually ready to plant. So this next time that I do it, I'm going to start my seeds in September. So if I start them in September, you got October, November, December, January, February. They're already by March they're 6 months old. So that's the that's what I'm going to attempt next year. Farming is art, so there's always mistakes that you make, and that's the one mistake that I think I made this year. So also, there's a lot of economic turmoil going on right now. You have the Iran war, and that's going to drive up oil prices. It's going to drive up fertilizer costs this next year, diesel costs. So this year, I think I'm going to go heavy on the manure and not put any synthetic fertilizers if I don't have to. If I have to, I'll buy a little bit, but if I could do it organic this particular year, just for cost, I'm going to try to do that. So we're learning. I'm not by any means the ultimate authority on coffee, but if you have any questions or comments, or if you think that I'm doing something wrong, leave a comment below. Like and subscribe to the channel and follow for more content. Thank you.